Cursed by the old gods of Bethany, we are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth till we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories stick around, we're ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. It's episode 65.
Woo!
Yeah!
Divisible by 5, good quality there.
It's 5
Cool.
plus 6, 11, no
No, it
threes.
doesn't really do anything for you in terms of other what are they called? Factors.
What is it?
So cool.
Or
It's
just
13 times 5. I think.
Yeah. Oh, 13's a good number.
13 is a good number.
And I don't feel like we are very good at remembering what 13,
Right?
like
Why don't we talk about how we are? What did you guys do this
Well, I
weekend?
feel like,
That's a way
because,
to start the show.
Because times tables when you're a kid end at 12. I don't know why they end at 12, but they do.
Fuck that.
Ours ended at 10 because they thought
Good
we were
try.
stupid.
Adam, how are you doing?
Really?
Fine.
Lee, how are you? How you doing?
I have a cold.
Aww.
Aw.
Yeah, it sucks.
Anyway, in conclusion, I think the kids should learn times tables up to 13 because I don't see why they don't.
Well, they should learn it up to 20, let's be honest.
That would really make more sense.
Why do you need a 17 times table?
Well, I mean,
It's just your most commonly used numbers.
17?
up to 20.
Yeah.
It's
Up to
useful.
20.
I've never needed to know 17 times 5.
Why not?
Why would you?
I've lived for centuries.
There are 5 of us, and we could easily
Go on.
do 17 podcasts, and then you might have to know how many
What?
entries that is, even though it's 6. There is a very feasible need for having to know what 17 lots of 5 are.
All right, you have 1 week to think of a good one.
Okay.
All right, anywho, I'm Austin,
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
and together we are the Immortals, who get easily distracted by numbers at the beginning of every episode.
I wouldn't call it distracted. I mean,
I think
we're
it's
providing
definitely distracting.
information that's relevant to our viewers.
That's not true.
Uh,
Not true in the slightest.
Sure it is.
Anyway, what is relevant to our viewers is what we do every
Listeners.
week.
We don't have
Listeners,
viewers.
yes.
No one watches this.
Yes. As Mike and Tom Eat Snacks has very well documented the difference between viewers and listeners, and we shall follow their advice. Today, we are doing things that we've been doing for over 65 weeks now, where we review one of the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and television shows that you must consume before you die. We have to do this because we are cursed by the aforementioned Bethany,
She's a
and
jerk.
she is now back in evil power, using our reviews for some sort of sinister plan. Her evilness is seeping into our world and into Capitol Hill. Problem.
Do we know that her evil plan isn't Donald
Have
Trump?
you noticed the correlation of when this all happened?
I mean, I'm saying, I feel like it is, and maybe that's why we should stop doing the podcast.
She came back episode 50. Between episodes 50 and 51, it happened.
Sure.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. But anyway, as we try to figure out ways to stop her, we're going to continue on reviewing. And every week, the intern for the old gods, who is our mole on the inside, gives us a randomly assigned number, probably, and tells us what reviews to do from those published books. So this week, we are reviewing the 542nd entry in all those books, the movie of which is The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie.
The album is Ocean Rain by Echo and the Bunnymen.
The food is Kangaroo.
The song is Wardance by Killing Joke. Killing Joke.
What did Jake do to you?
I don't know.
Christ.
The children's book is James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl.
And the TV show is Une Gars, Une Fille.
Fee.
Fee, you know what? That is foreshadowing.
It's
that,
not Gars, it's Ga. It's just Ga.
I didn't watch the show, guys.
Ga. Une Fille.
Well,
Didn't watch
then
the show.
you'll never get to die.
Pretty much. I'll never learn basic French words. But I did learn a little bit of French by
you?
watching The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie.
Alors, dry martini pour tout le monde? Il n'existe pas de meilleur tranquillisant que le dry martini. Je l'ai lu dans un journal féminin. Laissez-moi faire, je vais le préparer. Malheureusement, ces verres-là ne conviennent pas du tout. La mode a changé. L'idéal pour le dry martini, c'est le verre classique en forme de cône.
Le voilà.
Eh bien, c'est à peu près ça.
The Discreet Charm, The Bourgeoisie, is a 1972 film directed by Louis Buñuel. We had covered one of his films many episodes ago. We covered the film Tristana, and this one is very different than that. Buñuel had a long career as a filmmaker. In fact, he has like one of the very first entries in our book, the really crazy short film Une Gars, where they cut the eye. That's
Sure.
it.
Wait, what was that? What is it called?
I think it's Un Chien Andalou, the black dog.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Un
it.
chien
Chien.
on the like Andalusian,
Yeah, probably.
like dark curly hair type thing.
Anywho.
Okay.
It's that guy. So his whole career is kind of back and forth between really surreal films and not surreal films. This one is a surreal film.
It's great.
Wait, we also covered Life Without Bread. We've covered...
Is that also him?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Oh.
he made a lot of movies. Or
Yeah,
did
he
we
made a
just
lot.
have we just rolled like all his movies?
No, he has way more films than this. And more on the list. This one is a very strange film that is about a group of rich people and their seemingly ever-going quest to have dinner. They keep going to dinner events, and for one reason or another, they keep leaving without eating. And the movie is very, very strange. It has a lot to say about class and about soldiers, for sure, about diplomats in power, and it's funny. It's weird. It's a really weird movie. And this is my second time watching it. Let's start with Sarah this time. Sarah, what do you think?
I really liked it. I really liked it. I think that I would have to watch it again to be able to coherently express its exact message. But which is fine. I mean, like there's nothing wrong with that as a piece of art. But all of the little things that it was saying were great. I really like. There's something that happens twice where like a soldier comes in to the story through some random mechanism, like literally just sitting down at a table with them and tells like a story about his life that is like sad or complicated or otherwise, it's sad and distinctly it is that's probably where the director's making the class distinction the most clearly. But then he also does this like cool dream shit at the end. There's dreams and then dreams, and then there's more dreams, and then there's guns, and then there's dreams, and it's really cool, and I liked it.
Pedro, what did you think?
Meh.
I don't speak French.
In French, it would be meh.
Meh. No, I was bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't get into it. I wasn't interested in any of these people at all. Dreams were crazy, I guess. I was like, whoa, what is that? And now I get to see these people interact again. Oh, yay. But it was just... I wasn't sold on it. This is something that maybe would be more fun watching like in a theater with a nice cocktail, but it's not just I feel like putting this in the DVD player today. Not my kind of thing.
It's a curious film because I'm not sure that you're really supposed to care about the main characters. In fact, I think you're supposed to take delight in their failures.
Yes.
And especially because the more you learn about them, the more awful they are. We have a hysterically corrupt diplomat.
Right.
We have one character, this poor woman, whose only characteristic is that she's always drunk.
Just always.
Yeah.
Oh, she gets to be high once.
She's high or drunk. She's always wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just... They're pretty bad people.
They're terrible.
They're the worst.
But I couldn't even get into it enough for me to revel in their unhappiness. I'm usually all for that. But I couldn't.
Pedro Aubrey on the issue.
Oh, yeah. But I could give less than a shit for all of it. I don't know. I think it does need another watch because, like, the way it is all just weird and eerie with dream sequences and whatnot, since I can't make sense of it the first time around, it doesn't grab me. I'm just like, this is weird, but not in a fun way and not in an intriguing way. It's just whatever, zap. Maybe with some familiarity, I can get more into the story. Because for me, watching a film is all about, can I become a part of this world? And usually, logic doesn't need to apply. If it's true in the film, that's good enough for me. In this case, nah.
Lee, what did you think?
I also was bored with it, I think. I fell asleep during it.
Me too.
Which
Full
is
disclosure.
yeah, something
guys
that I generally do
Rewind,
during movies.
then
Did you guys go back?
and
Yeah.
watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Of course I did.
If you admitted it as a loss, that would be a problem.
No, I went back and watched until like I remember falling asleep. So I watched all of it. It's just I wish there was a differentiation between reality, quote unquote, and the dream sequences. Even if it was just like a tonal change or like lighting change or something just very, very minor to kind of give a clue as to what the hell is happening. Like, I get that this is supposed to be a surreal movie, but just a little clue to the audience would have helped a lot, I think.
Yeah, was the first example the one where the soldier's like, let me tell you about my dream? I think that was the first dream sequence, right?
Well, I think it wasn't a dream sequence. It was the soldier at the cafe saying, let me just tell you a terrible story of my childhood. And then he just tells us, and then he leaves. Right?
That wasn't dream.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one where they're at, all the soldiers come in and just bust into this dinner party.
Oh, and then shoot them all dead?
No.
That's later.
Later.
That's a dream.
The one where they're like, all right, I think we're about to leave. And then the soldier's like, wait, can I tell them about my dream? They're like, oh, why doesn't he tell you about his dream? And he's walking around and he sees a dead colleague.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only time
And
I
that
think
he was
they're
in
like,
hell. Yeah.
we're about to tell you something that is not real.
Yes. Well, I mean, the whole world is surreal, and it's like slowly introduces to you how weird this is. To me, I guess the first clue is when they arrive for dinner, and they weren't even supposed to arrive that day for dinner. There was no dinner to be had, and they go, "Oh, this is too bad." And they but they're so like upper class polite about it. They're like, they said to go to the diner next door. And they invite the woman over there who's hosting. She's in her pajamas. And they're just like, oh, don't even put any hassle on for us. She's going to go in her pajamas to the restaurant. That's clearly like not open for business. And they're waiting for service. And they kind of investigate why. And there's a funeral happening in the cafe. And this to me is really funny. Just because now it's a comedy of manners as they try to determine... as the people who are having the funeral at the moment still keep trying to serve them, even though that makes because it's just keeping up appearances beyond the point of rationale.
It's also when you realize that these people are terrible people, because the reason that they don't want to be served by these people, I think, is quite clearly not that they think that it's sad that the people are trying to serve them while they're mourning. It's because there's a dead body there.
Yeah.
Like, that is their concern.
But didn't they also hear like a bad review, or didn't they were subpar about the menu? Something about that.
They definitely say that. They have like a sour grapes moment as they go out, where it's like the menu wasn't supposed to be very good anyway, or something.
Adam, what do you think?
I kind of fucked up.
You watched the wrong film again.
No, I watched the right film.
Okay.
I didn't learn anything about it before, so I was expecting a lot of structure and order.
So when I texted you guys all weekend, this is a weird film. This is a weird film.
I know, but I thought it was like weird, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure or something, which has a through line and rising action.
No.
Yeah, not so much with this.
No.
And then my other problem was that the other main problem was that I didn't see it really as a comedy until like pretty much the end. So a lot of the humor was lost.
It's so dry.
And it's so dry, it just crumbles in your hands.
Yeah. What
It's
am I?
the French for you.
I think perhaps
Not always.
maybe the broadest
Often.
dry scene for me is I love the moment when you're really seeing the diplomat at work. He's complaining about these new rules and regulations, like, oh, now you can apparently just open the diplomat bag. It's like a giant crazy sack.
That is a great thing.
It's like, oh, now it's like, this should be a sacred little thing. You can't just open this. And then he just pulls out all this cocaine. He has just so much cocaine in the diplomat's bag. Like, why do customs just think they can just open this? We're diplomats.
The other
And they all
great,
keep trying the cocaine.
great farcical thing about I mean, that character is the broadest for sure. Is the spy with the weird little motorized dogs.
Well,
And he takes out a gun.
She's
The
not a
the
terrorist.
right? And she's just the first sign that the movie is maybe not normal is that there's this woman standing outside this guy's office with these apparently trying to sell or
Yeah,
demonstrate
She's selling them all. Like,
these
they're
weird
toys.
little like dogs that run around. And he just takes a gun and takes aim at one of the little mechanized dogs and shoots it. It just glares at him and runs away.
And this is before we know that she actually is a spy trying to kill him.
Yeah,
It just seems insane what he's doing. And also it's insane that he has a giant rifle in his office.
that was when this movie I was like, I'm into this.
Mhm.
This is a dumb weird thing that I'm into.
And it's odd because like the soldier sequences are so sincere. As I think they're trying to focus on like real problems over the nothing problems
Mhm.
of these rich people. They're just so weird in a really weird movie that I like them, and sometimes I laugh uncomfortably because of how serious they are and how like horrifying they are. I mean, one's just about a guy recognizing that he's dead, all his friends are dead, and everyone's dead around him. But it's also like the only thing of substance that's being discussed, because as you watch these rich people go from place to place, again, never actually having a meal, they have nothing to say, but they're like always around each other. And the image of them all together is amusing to me. I love those really wide shots where they're just walking down the long road.
Yeah.
Like they're going past like cornfields, like actual like work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just these doofuses. And as you keep having like these dream sequences near the end, which is ridiculous dreams upon dreams, where like you're just wondering how this film will end. Is it going to end with them all being mowed down? Maybe. Is it all a crazy Truman Show thing where this dinner is now on stage? It could be. I love like how much they don't talk to her. Like I think the third time they don't have a meal is when they are trying to return to the house to have a meal, and the main couple keeps trying to have sex various places, and they are misinformed by the maid that like they've left, and they assume it's a raid. They all just kind of run away because they're all like corrupt as hell, and the couple come back like thinking they've pulled off how sneaky they were having sex, and there's like so much hay all around them. And the maid's a great character.
Yeah, she's fun.
The maid who's like what, 58 or so? How old is she?
I think 52.
It was the crazy like this is very young actress. They just reveal at the end like is incredibly old, but she's just not noticed. She's basically furniture that is not a real person to them. I like this film. It's just such it's a charming, weird, rich people are the worst, silly, strange, slow movie. But I don't know. I'm worried I'm turning into the Chris Farley show. I'm
No,
naming the best ofs.
I think the thing that I liked, the ending worked really well for me with the dream sequences, because I sort of, that was where I got the director's message the clearest, I think, which seemed to be him like literally musing with the audience on all of the different surreal ways that this could end, many of which were entertaining, and then ultimately settling on them just walking down the street, as if ultimately saying, yeah, fuck this. These characters aren't even worth any of that.
Mhm.
Like, all that was a dream. These are just assholes who are walking down a road. And I really like that. I don't know. That worked for me.
They're not even aware that they never eat. That's what I love.
Yeah, to be clear, this movie is a tragedy. Because
Oh.
all the time they want to eat food, and they never get to eat food. And food is really important to me in my life.
I told Sarah she could eat when the characters eat.
No.
No, they eat during one of the scenes. That leg of lamb looked really good.
It was a dream, and they got killed.
Yeah, but they still ate.
Well, they didn't. But did you? I don't know what to ask you guys more. Did you find curiosity, even if it wasn't straight up hilarity, in any of the moments?
I think I was kind of enthralled the whole time. I'd never lost interest, but I didn't really pick up on them not eating as the through line or whatever. But yeah,
when did you catch on that they were never eating?
When I read the synopsis after
Oh,
I watched
really?
the movie.
You
Yeah.
did? Yeah.
Yeah. It just didn't seem important at all to me. And I think I was just looking for, the catharsis and all that. But the strange thing is that somehow when that last scene came around, I didn't even look at the timestamp or whatever on the DVD I was watching, but I knew that was the last scene somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like story is like an intrinsic thing that everyone has, and so you just know when a story is going to end. But there was not really a satisfying conclusion, other than my eyes didn't see a conclusion, but I felt it was concluded.
Mm-hmm.
It was very strange.
Okay. Leah, Pedro, any kind of moments of characters that made you curious? I mean, either in a positive or negative way towards the film, like something that just didn't work for you at all, or something that was a cool look.
No. I don't know. The diplomat, I guess, was the best. Just because he was just so weird. He reminded me the most, actually, of Tristana.
So he's in Tristana?
There was the same actor?
Yeah.
Yes. I kind of imagined it as the guy from Tristana being there, he's actually from that place.
For those of you who haven't heard that episode or have seen Tristana, he was a very creepy
Uncle, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
uncle, where young Catherine Deneuve was his ward, and he was the worst. Yeah.
I don't
big
care.
French guy with a big beard.
He had a really cool way of combing his beard, but that wasn't even in this movie. I got to see France and French things. That always makes me happy. A bit.
Well, I think a few more of his surrealist films are on the list. Like I mentioned, that short film, which is famous because of the eye being cut. But my favorite surrealist film by him is The Exterminating Angel, which I think is on the list, which is about a large group of people who are stuck in a large room. There's nothing, there's no barrier or anything. They just cannot leave this room at all.
Okay.
And it's strange.
Maybe it'll be more interesting.
Well, maybe. If you liked this film, though, there's another film like this that I know is not on the list, called The Phantom of Liberty, which I think has even less of a story, but has more of a wide range in its satire. And I still love the image from that movie where, because he talks more about religion in that film, and you see a bunch of Catholic, high priests, and they're all using their medals to play poker. I always like that image. But is that any more final thoughts? We can go right into Hinges.
Yeah.
Who this
Go
one?
into Hinges.
Who this one defeated Pedro? Pedro looks defeated.
I'm kind of surprised that you didn't really like it because of what you said earlier, that you just kind of believe what's happening on the screen.
Yeah.
I feel
You're,
like
you're a French weirdo.
I know. Maybe it struck too close to home.
Did you eat during
got
the
into a feedback loop.
Did you eat during the film?
No.
Okay. Sometimes you do, and that's really amusing.
No, it's not like what the cannibal movie that we saw.
No.
Oof.
Which one?
No, which one? The
Keep throwing
yeah,
the letter?
that's it. Yeah,
The one that Lee hates.
I
Yep,
totally
that
had
one.
some food during that.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus.
We too.
I realized what was going on. Anywho, let's try to hinge this one up. I give this 4 hinges.
I will do the same. 4 hinges.
I'll say 3.
Me too.
2.5.
All right, that is The Discreet Charm, The Bourgeoisie by Louise Benwell. It is currently on Criterion DVD and unfortunately not on Filmstruck. But give it a look. It's a weird one. No transition. Lee, what did we listen to this week?
This week we listened to Ocean Rain by Echo and the Bunnymen. This is their 4th album. We have reviewed them before on episode 20. We reviewed their first album, Crocodiles, one of the two, I don't know. We reviewed that one on episode 20, so if you want to hear more about them, you can check them out. I actually liked this album a lot more than their first one.
Me too. And I actually, Crocodiles is pretty highly rated for us.
I remember thinking it was all right. I didn't go back and listen to the episode because I didn't care that much. But
Our hinges are pretty good for that one.
yeah, I remember that I didn't like that it sounded like it was a bunch of angry kids in a garage kind of yelling at each other. Like it was a really underproduced album, and it was very roughly recorded, and you can tell. Whereas this one actually does a good job. Like it sounds really nice, and they actually have some production quality on this album, which really helps their music a lot, I felt.
Yeah, from the very first song, it was cool. It was catchy. I really, really liked it. Who else listened to it, by the way?
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I don't want to accidentally exclude anybody.
I listened to part of it, but I forget it. I forget all of it. I don't know what it was like.
Oh boy.
That was one thing that I kind of didn't like about the album. There was only really one song that ever really stood out to me, and I listened to this album all day, and the only one that made me look up and check to see which one it was Nocturnal Me, which is the second song on the album. And the only reason why it really did that was because it kind of sounded a little bit like The Doors.
Okay.
People Are Strange When They're a Stranger, that song specifically. There's something about Nocturnal Me that reminded me of that. And I don't know quite what it was, but that was the only one that made me stop what I was doing and kind of pay attention. Whereas the rest of the album just kind of sounded really similar, and it was hard to tell when one song was done.
I really didn't have that this time. And the one that especially caught my attention was The Killing Moon, which is their longest and kind of most epic song. It really felt like it was telling a story. I don't know, this is my I know that we keep coming back to Echo and the Bunnymen. I always kind of forget, I don't know, what they sound like a little bit. I know that I'm nothing against them, but this is my first time going, I really like this album, want to keep returning to it.
It was definitely a good album. I liked it a lot better than the other one that we've reviewed, but I don't know. It could be that I have a cold and I kind of hate everything right now. So I might change my mind at a later date and come back and revisit it. But at the time of listening to this, I just didn't care that much.
I'm looking at some review snippets right now. I don't agree with this part. Overtly erotic.
Yeah, I didn't I looked at the book and what the book said about it, and it was just more of their contemporaries, U2, were selling out arenas where these guys were doing small little Scottish clubs. It's okay, I don't understand why that is really a big deal, though. I don't know. I tried to find why this album needed to be on the list. I couldn't.
It just seems like a really it has a confident voice to it. It's, I don't know, I can't just compare everything to this band, but it almost reminded me of how the Decemberists kind of use like their music to kind of go about themes. I feel like Echo and the Bunnymen, like it's a really strong package.
Yeah, it's definitely a cohesive package, and they are a lot more confident in their first album. I think this is kind of a benefit to us being able to review it since we have something to compare to. But their first album, you can tell they're young, they don't really know what they're doing. They were just trying to find their sound, whereas this album they found their sound, they know what they want to do, they know what it needs to sound like, and they know what production quality is. So it's definitely improvement, I feel.
This would be putting you on the spot, but do you have some examples of what bands had like a great first album?
We've done a couple. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but we have reviewed a couple that it's been like, oh, this is their first album, and it's really surprising and really great. But I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now.
I think the Killer's first album is still the best one. Hot Fuzz.
Possibly.
Fuzz.
Isn't that it?
Fuss.
Fuss.
I thought I said Fuzz. Yes.
Okay, I heard Fuzz.
No. Hot Fuzz, the movie, is better than Hot Fuzz, the album. I said it.
Probably.
It sounded like you said Hot Fuzz both times.
Uh-huh. I'm a podcaster. I can say words on the microphone.
Well, don't get fuzzy about it.
How dare you? Do you have any more, Lee?
Oh, hey, I just came up with an example. 3
Sure.
years, 5 months, and 2 days in the life of Arrested Development by Arrested Development was their first album.
And was
So-
amazing.
It's a really, really great album. It was our third reviewed album on episode number 3. If you want to check that out, highly recommend it. Very, very good album.
And also, if you go to theartofmore.com, you can see that is still highly rated of our average Hinge ratings.
Indeed.
That is eventually loading on my screen right now. It's
1,
up there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's number 7, top 7.
All right. Out of 60 something.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I was crazy. Crocodiles is way down there.
Isn't
Like,
it
we
one of
didn't give it bad reviews.
No, where'd it go? I don't know. Liquid Swords is still number 1. That's all that matters in the world.
Yo.
Yeah.
People go like, what is the Immortals taste? It's Downfall the movie, Liquid Swords the album, and Harold the Purple Crayon.
Makes a lot of sense to me. And cheese.
Cheese.
Lots of cheese.
Is Das Boot number 1? What's the highest?
Yeah.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is our highest song, and Das Boot the TV show.
Yep.
If it's about Germans in World War II, we're gonna give
We're
it.
all over
yeah.
that
We're
shit.
gonna give it the highest rating. Okay, Jesus. All right. Hinges for Ocean Sea. No, Ocean
Rain.
Rain. Ocean Sea is not a thing.
Nope.
I'm doing fine, guys. It's okay.
I'm gonna give this album a 3. It was good. It was enjoyable.
I give this a 4.4. That is Ocean Rain by Echo and the Bunnymen. Take a listen. Now, okay, it's the food segment.
Let's eat some kangaroo, guys!
Oh boy.
Okay, so look, guys. I know we all like kangaroos, but I, as a voice for Adam, who's vegetarian, would note that we eat lots of animals that we like, and the fact that we like certain animals really does not have any logical or moral bearing on whether we eat them. Also, kangaroos aren't endangered or anything. Like, there's a lot of them. That being said, I have kangaroo jerky and we should eat it.
I'm cool with that.
I will admit, I tried to find fresh kangaroo. I could not in Chicago. It doesn't seem like anyone was stocking the kangaroo right now. So I got some jerky off Amazon. I'm kind of bummed because I feel like jerky is like never the best way to consume a meat. Also, I don't like jerky, so my review may be covered by that, but I will try and avoid it. But here's this jerky that exists. And it's there. Eat it. I will admit, I kind of find jerky kind of gross. So I'm like, but I'm sure the kangaroo is fine. So somebody else eat it first, so that then I remember that I did. Because I don't wanna.
So I don't know why I'm being affected by the assignment of kangaroo. Like I think it's just because like
Actually, you can taste the meat. That's interesting.
I think it's because it's an animal I don't ever think of as food. Because like a cow, I think a cow is a very amusing animal, but I know cows turn into hamburgers.
It tastes like ham.
Mm-hmm.
Eat it.
I don't know.
Eat the damn kangaroo. Do you want some kangaroo?
I'm gonna pass.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's little.
No, I mean, like, I gave it some thought. But...
You were tempted this time, and that's actually weird because like as a hardcore carnivore, I'm having doubts, and as a vegan, you're also in doubts in the other direction.
All right, talk more about your carnivore doubts because they're definitely ridiculous, and I want to hear about them.
Which I think it's like the same reason why I don't know. Some people eat dogs. I don't think of dogs as meat. I don't think of certain animals as food, and it's fine that it's food. It just I guess surprises me.
Yeah,
because it's not a farmyard animal. It's something that can box Australians. I don't know much about kangaroos.
Like I feel like generally in the broader topic, like if we think about cats, since I have a cat, I would not eat my cat. And I would probably get a little squeamish at the idea of eating cat because I know a cat so well. But
would you still try?
yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, I think like I wouldn't be able to give a morally defensible reason not to eat cat, and therefore I probably would eat cat because to do otherwise would call into question the entire practice of eating meat, which is something that I do not find morally objectionable. So, you know, I'm going to keep my morality set. But I would not eat my cat. That would be sad. Because then my cat would be dead. She's right here staring at this jerky. So I do not share your concerns, Austin. I do think that this kangaroo is very interesting. It's surprising. The jerky, this is some high-quality jerky, in that you can definitely taste the meatsy part of it. Like, you can taste that it is a different meat than other jerkies, which is interesting.
Barely, though.
I mean, barely, but it is...
I'm having a hard time finding the kangaroo.
I think it tastes a little bit, like, in comparison to, like, beef, it doesn't taste like beef jerky.
No.
It tastes a little bit more like turkey jerky.
I was going to say that.
But I think that it reminded me the most of ham, which is weird. But I think that's, like, somewhere between turkey and ham is where I would put it.
Could it be the glazing of the turkey?
No, I mean, it's teriyaki, which is not really something that I, like, think of as
I think that's what I keep tasting the teriyaki
But
sauce.
there's like a, well, obviously it's salty.
Mhm.
But there's like a, I don't know, like a piggy kind of thing going on. It doesn't taste like poultry. It doesn't taste like beef, which
It
makes
doesn't
sense.
taste gamey, which is kind of what I was expecting.
Well, like, yeah, because kangaroos are, I mean, they're large herbivores.
No.
But they are, like, they use their legs a lot. And, like, the best tasting animals, right, are, like, large, lazy herbivores. Those are, like, the tastiest ones.
What are the best cuts of kangaroo?
I have no idea.
You wouldn't eat their haunches, would you?
I imagine something away from their legs and arms.
Yeah, because those would be kind of gamey, I would think. Or
Stomach, maybe.
sinewy. Yeah, probably like belly. Kangaroo belly.
Mm.
Oh, that's where the baby goes, though.
Maybe that's part of it. This is an animal that we know,
Like, loves its young.
like, we know it, like, the distinctive element of it is that it has a pouch to hold a baby. I don't know, like,
So do seahorses.
what?
I'd eat a seahorse, no problem.
Wait, seahorses also have pouches?
Yeah.
The trivia I know about seahorses is that the males can get pregnant.
So you eat you eat the back of kangaroos. That's what you eat. You eat like around the spine, apparently.
Ugh.
Wait,
I mean, not like around that muscle.
That's
that
where
shows
some of the
there.
best cuts of beef are.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same as a cow.
no, I'm not that impressed by it.
Does it taste similar to deer?
You know, it's not unlike venison. Like that's like venison. I feel like similarly to me
That's gamey.
but it's not like beef, nor is it like birds.
Mhm.
But it's a little bit more. It's like closer to pork than it is to beef, but it's definitely not pork. And I feel similarly about kangaroo, which makes sense.
Mm.
I feel it's important that we nail this down. Like the weird meats section, I feel like is by far the most important section of the food section. Because we're eating some weird meats. Got some ostrich in there.
I'm fine with all meats. Ostrich is really good.
It's fucking delicious.
You didn't review that one.
Huh?
We had a fucking delicious ostrich.
I had a burger. I made a burger. Lee and I ate some
Oh, yeah,
ostrich
sorry, you
burgers.
did.
Yeah, it was really tasty.
It was really
I just
tasty.
forgot that you weren't, like, with us when we had lunch.
I had ostrich in Portugal before.
We had a fucking delicious ostrich burger. But I wish I'd be able to find kangaroo like that, because I would be interested.
Right.
Gator was
kangaroo-
also fucking delicious.
Is kangaroo protected?
They're
Like,
fine.
Not the species.
They protect themselves
the
through boxing.
food. Like,
No, people like eat kangaroo. Like in Australia. Like,
but if you raise a
Regularly.
kangaroo here
Like a
for
regional thing.
slaughter,
oh,
is it?
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it's,
sure
it's
there are
the same
kangaroo farms.
animal. It's
I mean,
fine.
I will say, this is an American company.
Oh, perfect.
But I don't know. Apparently, now I'm reading the Wikipedia entry on kangaroo meat, which obviously I hadn't done before. So most kangaroo meat is sourced from wild animals as a byproduct of population control programs. So kangaroo, I knew that.
Just
I
like
remember
deer
this actually.
here.
Yeah. So kangaroo are like the deer of they lack natural predators thanks to industrialization. So you gotta kill them and stuff. And so yeah, so that's why people eat kangaroo. That's why white people eat kangaroo basically, because they're over. Like,
Too many of them.
there's too many of them. That's the word.
Hinges.
Oh my god, sorry. This is important. There's something called kangatarianism. Kangatarianism is a recent practice of following a diet which excludes meat except kangaroo on environmental and ethical grounds.
What? Why?
So the idea would be, in Australia, because kangaroos are overpopulated, there is a moral reason to kill them, and therefore, unlike cattle, their eating them does not cause any environmental harm. Because the reason the meat is there is because of overcrowding problems, and you're only killing wild animals, so you're not creating a farming problem. So basically, that's and also they're killed relatively humanely. Like hunting is like a decently humanitarian way to kill something.
They box to death.
They don't do that.
Yes, they do.
And yeah, this is a real thing that is true in Australia, and that's amazing.
Huh.
Kangatarianism, guys.
Next time we're in Australia.
It's fucking
let's go
amazing.
hunt.
Also, sorry.
Boxing.
Also, for similar reasons, Australians have discussed eating only the meat of Australian feral camels. There are feral camels in Australia.
They actually import camels from Australia to Saudi Arabia for camel
What the
racing.
fuck?
They just grow well there. There's not a whole lot else to go.
How'd they get there?
Sorry, did you say camel racing?
Yeah, camel racing.
What is the world? What is the world?
Is that
How
on
are the
YouTube?
things in the world the way they are? Okay, I guess I should henge kangaroo before I go down this Wikipedia rabbit hole because it's going to take a long time to get to the bottom of it.
That's
Go ahead.
You know that's
Oh wait, I go first, right?
Yeah.
Kangaroo's pretty good actually. Like I would eat a burger of this hella hardcore, and I want to taste more of it. 4.3.
I feel I need to have a burger, but right now, I'm not impressed. I'm giving this a 2.
I am excited for more of the real deal. There is a hefty overshadowing of jerky, but I'd like jerky. So for now, it's at a 4.
Alright.
All right, that is Kangaroo.
So is anyone ready to be a kangatarian?
I'd try it.
Adam, you could become a kangatarian right now.
I would only do it if they had changed the name to Vegetaroos.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
I think I have a song.
Do you think you have a song?
I think I
Maybe.
have a song.
You better have a song.
I have a song.
What song?
Wardance.
By?
Killing Joe. Joke.
Fuck you.
Killing Jake.
Killing Joke was... No, the song is Wardance. Wardance is a song by Killing Joke that came out in 1980. February, actually, so it's 27 years old this month. Woo! Just like me. Wait, no, 37.
37.
10 years older
Oh,
than me.
numbers guy. Got
Ah,
it wrong.
crap.
Also, you're immortal and centuries years old.
Yup.
Oh, yeah, details.
Christ.
It's like weird rock metal-y typeness. I didn't like the song that much. It was annoying
Oh, I like it.
and boring. Everything is boring.
I think y'all are in a bad mood this week.
I agree. I like this song.
I say after
To
I
be
just
fair, I do
gave
have a
love review.
cold.
This is
You
fair.
have a cold. I think Adam's still asleep.
I've been sleeping.
Just in general.
I really
Yeah.
liked this song. I think its bass line was excellent, and that's a lot of what like I got from the song. But it was an excellent bass line. A bass line like worthy of remembering. I was definitely wishing that I was listening to it while I was driving, so I could kind of groove along.
So I listened to both versions of this song because I didn't know which one the book would. Because like it appeared to like be released as a single, and then it was part of an album, and the album had a bit of a slower pace to it. And I think the single went a lot more. And based on YouTube, it's 10 seconds shorter. That's how fast it is. It's 10 seconds faster.
I listened to the single version as well. And I did listen to it while I was driving, and it wasn't that great to listen and drive to.
Okay.
At least in my opinion.
I mean, to be fair, Cher brings up a good point. Most everything in the song is actually pretty good if you listen to it individually. I like the rhythm, I like the beat, I like the guitar, the bass, the backup vocals. But when they put it together and added whatever that thing is that's supposed to be a lead vocal, it didn't work.
It sounded
all.
really generic.
It
I
sounded...
thought so too.
It was like a not as good Marilyn Manson.
Like, not even
Yes,
that.
but-
Just like a really boring pop punk band single you'll hear on the local alternative station that they've played a billion times already.
It didn't chart in the UK, because why would it? It's not the best song ever. But it reached number 50 in the Billboard, I think, Dance Electronica or something like that.
I love how you have Wikipedia out for the song title, but then when you do all the
Well,
What was
facts are
it?
easier to remember.
then the name of the
Then
song.
the
you're
name?
reviewing?
Which is also a
Names are
fact.
hard. And we've established that I've had trouble with this name so far.
That was with an open.
Yeah.
What's the song called?
God damn it. Wardance.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, no, like, the song could have been great. And instead it's meh.
So, I noticed that no one has said the word punk yet. I mean, isn't this a punk song, or am I crazy?
No, it's a post-punk song.
It's post-punk?
What does
Yes.
Wikipedia say? They've got all the
Wikipedia
genres.
says it's post-punk.
Oh, just one? Okay.
That seems right.
So, what does post-punk mean? Not as angry?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not gonna be as Destroy All the World. Talking Heads and Joy Division are post-punk, so
Yeah, that makes sense.
Talking Heads is post-punk?
according to this Wikipedia article I'm looking at right now.
I love Talking Heads. I didn't know that.
Hmm.
I listened to their albums. I had no idea.
It just sounds a bit more processed and a bit easier to consume, in my opinion, than punk.
Yeah.
So, like, add in, like, a really bad or really cheesy sounding synth and you'll have some pop punk.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, to me, punk is such a strange genre because, on one hand, I enjoyed the spectacle of it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to, like, listen to an album over and over again of it. So, it almost needs to have that extra amount of creativity to go along with it for me to
Yeah.
really, like, personally get into it. And this one was so bland and took so long to even get into the song, I felt
Mhm.
like, that I mean, thank God for the faster version. But
The faster version could have been faster,
Oh,
only
absolutely.
because of the YouTube thing where they turn up the dial a little bit on the speed of things.
What?
That happens sometimes. I saw like Casino Royale at like 1.2 speed or something.
that
It's to
might,
get away, get
It's for-
away with copyright
Copyright,
infringement.
to avoid being tracked.
Being
So it
tracked.
could
Yeah.
be that the single version was actually that. Or they decided to play it a shade faster. I don't know.
Wikipedia says the single of Wardance is 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay.
I heard a 3-minute 44-second.
What's the one that I got? It is 3:45.
Fascinating.
Bum bum bum.
Sure. More fascinating than the song.
I just thought it was nice and I liked it. I don't have a lot of smart things to say. I thought that instead of taking a little while to get into it, it had a nice long ramp up. I just liked it. Sorry.
That's fair.
No, I'm just amused because like Pedro's like never the naysayer.
No.
Here he is going, I don't like this film.
The world is full of darkness.
I don't like this song. I'm gonna give a meat under 4.5.
Right? That's weird. I think something's wrong, guys.
Are we ready to henge it?
Yeah, I'll henge it.
You're so pissed off.
I'll henge the crap out of this. No, it's just bland. It could be better, but it's not awful and doesn't hurt my ears. So 3.
I was also gonna give it a 3.
3.8.
2.5.
I was gonna go 2.7.
All right. That, all right. That is. Watch this, Pedro.
Killing.
Nope.
God
War
damn
dance.
it.
I wasn't even asking you to do it. I was gonna brag that I know how to say war dance by killing joke.
Killing Jake.
Joke.
I was gonna say
The Jake bit is in now, though.
Is it
We're
now?
into that.
I'm into that.
Let's see if it continues now with our children's book. What did we read this week?
James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl.
So
Nailed it.
Did it. So, every week we review children's books. We've done some big ones, but we've never hit maybe like one of the biggest authors on the list until now.
Yeah. This is our first Roald Dahl, and coincidentally, or fortunately, this is his first novel.
Was it really? I didn't look at the timeline of it.
Yeah, I thought you would have some reaction to that, but then you did.
What?
I just said first novel, and then you just stared at me.
I was just thinking for a second.
Yeah.
Did he write some adult novels first?
He did like short stories.
Okay.
That I think were more geared towards adults. But this is so he has I think 6 or 7 other books on our list. But this is our first, and it was published in 1961. I'm pretty sure. Illustrated by Quentin Blake, who illustrated a lot of his other books too.
I definitely remember his work from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda, and I think The Witches as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just really remember a lot of the drawings from The Witches.
Yeah.
I love Roald Dahl.
Yeah, me too. But I think this is actually the first time that I've read James and the Giant Peach, honestly.
I must have, because I read all of Roald Dahl, but I had a stronger memory of the movie, which I saw a couple times as a kid.
Same, yeah.
But weirdly enough, I don't remember the last half of the movie. So when I was reading this book and we get to the second half of the book, I go, oh, this must be when it deteriorated from the movie, because I don't remember them going to New York. Go to Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently they did go to New York in the movie. I just didn't remember that at all. But yeah, just tell the premise of this book.
So it's about a boy whose parents are killed by a wild rhinoceros who escapes from the zoo. And he goes to live with his 2 miserable aunts, who are just terrible people. And one day he runs into a crazy old man who gives him a bag of green stuff, which he finds out is like crocodile tears and monkey fingers and stuff like that.
No, crocodile tongues.
Tongues, that's it. And says that if he does some if he cooks this in some water, whatever, and drinks it, marvelous things will happen to him, and he'll never be miserable again. Unfortunately, when James is running home to do this, he drops it in the grass, and a peach tree, which has never had peaches before, grows this giant peach, and he ends up going into the peach and finding a couple of insects, and they go on an adventure together and end up in New York City.
Yeah.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there are 2 things that I find most remarkable about this book, and that is that James never takes the magic potion, whatever.
Sure.
I think in a lot of different books, he would have gone home and marvelous things would have happened to him. But this is interesting that nothing happens to his like physicality, but he still has this adventure. I think that's very interesting. And then once he is on the adventure, it's not that he is kind of he's not the stranger in a strange land. The insects are strangers to this strange world. But James is also in the strange world, but whenever they have questions, they go to James, and he has an answer for them because he's just been, I assume because he's just been alone this whole time and has a really active imagination just being with himself. So I think that's really interesting that he was never like a victim. Things never happened to him. He was the change maker.
And it's actually one of the best examples of the thing that I keep railing on this podcast, which is the, average white dude, just an average dude, but he's destined to be brilliant because he's just lonely.
Right.
This is also an example of it because he's such a nice guy. There's never like really any complaints he has is very worthy because his aunts are terrible people.
Constructive even.
Yeah. And he's very kind, and he's just very willing to take a back seat, almost narratively sometimes, to the insects who have more inner dynamics and conflicts amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That he's happy part of the ensemble. It's not kind of all about he learns to have faith in himself and he's the hero in his own. No, it's everyone's having a great time, and when they are leaving the tree and this giant peach is about to kind of roll and to see where they're going to go, there's excitement in it because these insects just have only recently had this magical thing happen to them. They don't have a plan. They don't know where they're going to go. They're excited to go to any other part of the world because all they know is this hill, and none of them expect to even go in the water.
Right.
And once that happened, they're all just screwed because they're bugs on the water.
Yeah.
And it's such a really fun response to that. And also with that, you get the wonderful darkness of Roald Dahl, which is, I love it so much because it's so hard to capture that. I've only seen one movie capture it correctly. I thought it was fantastic, Mr. Fox. Because, the ants die. The peach runs them over, and they're dead.
Yeah.
And they cheer, and they sing songs of how great it is that they're dead.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. They're the bad guys. Let them die.
Right.
I was looking on Wikipedia. Apparently, they get run over in the movie, but they come back in New York. It's just...
They just get,
squished.
But
yeah.
not killed.
No. And James' parents were killed by rhinoceros. That's what happened.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah. It's weird. It can be both.
Yeah.
And that's so much of Roald Dahl's world. And yeah, and this was fun. I can now see this as kind of a first book of his because you can kind of see so much of Roald Dahl's success to me is just kind of wonderful visuals.
Mm-hmm.
And this just kind of picturing the giant peach out in the water or up on the Empire State Building or rolling on the hill was awesome. And it's not like a cheap adaptation of a previous story. It's not just a hero's journey or this is a different version of Cinderella or whatever.
Right. This
is weird and new and exciting, and sometimes the plot conflict answers are right in front of you. Oh my God, we're starving on the water. And James says, we're on a giant peach. We can eat this for a while and not sink.
Yeah. And
it's exciting. Yeah.
And when they thought that they were going to be eaten by sharks, but it turns out the sharks did no damage to the peach because of the way their noses are shaped.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Fun little details like that. He just has to kind of just barely say it, and then you can get a whole picture of how things happen.
And the extensions of the insects' personalities of how they all operate, as how you think a grasshopper or a ladybug or a silkworm would be. It was delightful. It was a really fun ensemble to be around, and it's impressive because 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, I think so. Like
And-
maybe 5.
And the silkworm doesn't talk, so that kind of helps, right? Is that right?
Right. Yeah, there's a silkworm, glowworm.
Right.
Two
There's
different-
two worms.
Yeah, and then centipede, earthworm,
Mhm.
3 worms.
The centipede, big thing about centipede is the boots.
Yes.
It's all about how many boots it wears, and it's too much of a hassle to take them all off.
Right. But he does 3 or 4 times.
Yes. This is fun. I like
yeah.
it. I don't. It's probably not my top 5 Roald Dahl books, but I got to read Roald Dahl this week, and
Mhm.
that's a good week.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. So I think I'll give it 4.1.
I'll give it a 4.3. All right, that is James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. Now it's time for the TV show. Une Gars? Gars?
Struggle.
Une Fille. Une Gars, which translates to a guy, a girl. This is a 7-season French-Canadian sitcom that was a huge success and was translated to many, many different countries, all of which, like the French version actually is more successful than the Canadian version. But not only can I not, I can't find it. Sorry.
Mm.
It's, and when I could find a DVD, it wouldn't play here, and I couldn't guarantee it had English subtitles. So I wanted to watch it because it appears to be about a guy and a girl, and 2 to 3 kind of short scenes an episode, dealing with romantic comedy stuff. That's like my genre. But I didn't watch it. I would have, but I didn't.
Is there a trailer or anything on YouTube?
No, because like all the French version, it's hard to tell exactly which one is. Some of them have the same title.
Oh.
It's called that in like so many different countries, and yeah, I think all the clips I saw on YouTube were all the French show, the same name, not the French Canadian show, which is what the book wants us to review.
Oh, I see. So it'd be silly to play a trailer right now.
Children need to be looked after, controlled.
This year is too important to let a loose cannon rock the boat.
So the mayor of Sunnydale is a black hat.
Mint?
I should be in a demon dimension suffering an eternity of torture. But I'm not.
Pedro, you have the power to do real good. I think if things were different, that things between you and me would be different too.
I'll never know.
Buffy.
That wasn't even the show. Why did you play that? All right, that's the TV show segment. That's episode 65.
Woo!
Woo!
15 times 13.
You guys don't give a shit.
5 times 13. Good number.
Yeah,
Very good number.
5 times 13.
I think so.
Is
It's 50
Yeah, it
plus...
Yeah.
What's 5 times
it's
6?
it's 65. Don't make me doubt myself, Austin. I know what I'm about.
Greetings, Immortals!
Hey, intern.
Wait,
Enter.
what's his name now? He's got a name. It's like Fruity Pebbles or something. There's something silly.
I
last
highly
episode.
doubt. I highly doubt. I gave you another name to call me last week.
I think you did.
I don't think. I may have. It's possible that I did.
We're usually so good on this shit. I forget.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, if you haven't heard in a while, we're
You
trying
may
to
call me Jake.
I'll call you Jake.
Jake?
Jake the intern.
He's not an
Uh,
intern anymore,
Oh,
though.
it's so nice to have a
Secret
name for you.
intern,
Your name's
sir. Whatever. This guy, he possesses Adam's body. He is in the old god's realm. We're trying to defeat Bethany as she continues to use the power of her reviews to some sort of evil deed. As we're trying to figure out how to do this, we're all taking turns thinking of good solutions to do this. So far, Pedro has found a knife, and he keeps finding different gems to put in it.
Mhm.
One might have
Nice.
been like a rock from our former review.
Yep.
One rock to something else.
Yep.
What was that rock?
No, it was just part of the sword to bring out its power.
You find any more gems this week?
Well, no, but what I found last week was a map that was projected from the sword. So I
Oh,
followed
okay.
the map. I went on a quest, of course.
Right.
And I found the temple. Problem is, I couldn't get into the door. When I put my sword in the groove that it was clearly meant to go,
Uh-huh.
the map came up again, then 3 other X's all around the world showed up and said, first you gotta get what's inside these temples. And I was like, ah, shit.
So you're playing Legend of Zelda now?
No, I'm on a quest to find the treasure in dungeons to be able to get into the main dungeon with my magic sword that plays music and maps.
Yeah.
This is why you couldn't hang out last weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. While Pedro does that, because maybe that'll help defeat Bethany, Lee is trying for a whole Rumpelstiltskin plot line. And do you have some more names for us this week, Lee, that could be Bethany's real name to just, I guess, defeat her?
Okay, so this one has a little bit of thought behind it.
Okay.
Sticking with the monogram idea, sticking with the first initial, because who would want to buy a whole new set of towels? And Bethany has really great hair. What if her real name is actually Bon Jovi?
Okay.
And then the other name is Ingrid, maybe? That's an old-timey name.
That is an old-timey name. It's nice. It's kind
It's a
of
good
German.
name. I like Ingrid.
Yeah.
And what we've learned, because we just went through, and we really like things that involve Germans.
Ooh, there we go.
Films
So-
about the German point of view of World War II.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
All right. We'll put those in consideration. Adam thought of a Hansel and Gretel plan, which is just to push her into an oven. And
I thought it was clever.
you're not Adam.
I am a big fan of him.
Isn't he great?
And Sarah wants to, I think, put all of Bethany's stuff into a
Gold.
It's got to be
all
gold,
of
obviously.
the gold, put it into a fort of some sort.
It's Gold Digger. It's a lot of Gold Digger.
It's a pot of gold.
We should do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, it is your turn, Austin.
I'm thinking that perhaps Bethany was switched at birth and actually has an identical twin sister. Their parents have separated, Bethany's parents. And the reason she's so angry all the time is because she just needed to kind of get her parents back together.
This is the Parent Trap.
Like the
What?
Parent Trap.
This is the Parent Trap.
What is this?
The Parent
You
Trap.
ever seen the Parent
It's a
Trap?
movie.
No, I
It's
don't
got
know.
that one girl in it.
Haley Mills?
Hey, intern, you should
Sure.
give us
Lindsay
the number
Lohan.
that is the Parent
That's
Trap.
it.
Also, no, the original did not have Lindsay Lohan in it. What the hell is wrong with you?
Haley Mills.
Oh,
There's,
okay, fine.
So-
there's an original and a not original.
What? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
wait.
Lindsay Lohan was a remake.
Yeah.
And also,
think
there
I've
might have
seen
been
that
a sequel to the original, but I don't know if this is a story.
Mhm.
So yeah, these
I've
are
seen that
all of our plans.
So we just got to bring the parents.
Wonderful.
how?
I shall do them.
Well,
Especially
I'm-
the Fort Knox one.
Wait,
I'm doing mine.
Wait, what? How about now that we all have 5 possible plans to defeat Bethany?
Well,
How
why
about-
don't you come up with a plan, intern?
Why don't I?
Yeah.
Why don't
yeah,
I?
yeah. Next week, you want to come up with a plan?
I'd love to. I do have a plan.
I don't get what shit you do all week. So it's
Yes,
super easy.
yes, maybe. Yes, a plan is already beginning to form.
It's just called thinking.
Next week, I shall think some more.
Okay.
First time for
All
anything.
right.
Wonderful. Yes, you have all given me wonderfully contrived, but interesting ideas. And I shall formulate a plan for you next week. Until then, your next number is 464.
Ooh.
464
Palindrome.
Palindrome.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, I mean, they're even numbers everywhere. It's just dripping.
Yeah,
with
so much
twos.
fun. It's such a good number.
There's going to be a lot of palindromes, guys.
I think it's divisible by 11 too. Let me check.
4 plus
No,
Why
4.
don't we talk
no,
about this
focus,
next
focus,
week? Because we've
focus.
already talked about numbers 3 times.
Don't care. It's
What's
not
this
divisible
for?
by 11.
Oh, the movie's cool. Another Best Picture winner. It's In the Heat of the Night.
When you're having a BS.
Hey, the Oscars this weekend. We almost were like topical.
Almost.
Ooh.
Kind of, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the episode after the Oscars.
We'll go with it.
Whatever. In the Heat of the Night.
The food is
Sidney Poitier turned 90 this week.
Crazy, right?
That
So
is crazy.
it really should have happened this week.
Okay.
All right.
The food is stone crab.
What?
Crabs that live in stones. We're gonna eat them.
Nice.
Like
Crabs live in stones?
No, on stones, not in. Sorry, I misspoke.
Okay.
The song is The Passenger by Iggy Pop.
Pedro looks so goddamn proud right now.
I said it right?
You did.
Yes! Can I say it again?
Yeah,
The
man.
Passenger by Iggy Pop.
Okay.
Ah.
What else we got here? What's the children's book?
It is The Adventures of the Wishing Chair by Enid Blyton.
The Wishing Chair?
The Wishing Chair.
I hope the chair makes the wishes.
I also hope that.
Talking chair would be cool. We haven't had a chair-based book yet.
It's bound to happen, right?
Yeah.
The TV show is absolutely fabulous. And that's the beloved British sitcom, which is on Hulu. Happen to know that. Hey, Lee, what's the album? Something new?
The album is Killing Joke by Killing Joke.
Hey!
Jesus Christ.
I know those guys.
I think that the intern is just picking something that most resembles his name, and it's really Killing Jake.
What?
Over and over. No, I mean, like that's the whole thing, right? We learned his name is Jake. We've been making this Jake joke the whole time. Now I picked the album again that has joke,
Why
which
did
sounds
I
like
buy
Jake.
the album?
There are Jakes that are musicians.
Don't
I'm
care.
sure.
This is the right. This is the right answer.
All right, whatever.
God damn it.
So come back next week where we're gonna hear the intern's great plan to defeat Bethany, and all that stuff. That's some cool stuff coming up. Until then, you can email us at theimmortals@theartofmore.com. We want to know what you think of all things we reviewed or haven't reviewed or reviewed in the past or maybe review in the future. You know, just whatever you want to do. We can just hang out.
Yeah.
You can go on Twitter at the Immortals Pod, where you can see some tweets about when shows are coming out, pictures of the food we eat, and cool retweets of stuff that we've covered.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I'm about to retweet a cool article about what happened to the screenwriter of Rain Man, his Oscar. He's kind of had an interesting journey of what the Oscar statuette's been doing all these years. That's the kind of gems you can go to if you follow the Immortals Pod on Twitter. Also, if you go to theartimmortal.com, you can leave a comment about this episode or any episode so we can hear what you think about the show. Let's hear your hinge ratings for The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie or Wardance or James and Giant Peach.
Are you a kangatarian? Because if so, I definitely want to hear from you.
We'll see that as a Reddit for me to post this article on. Also, while you're there, you can check out the other podcasts like Let's Take 5. Tomorrow, we're going to do our 4th episode of our Stanley Kubrick 5, where it is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And also, I can say it now, that last Saturday, we had a really cool bonus episode that came out with our Dr. Strangelove episode, where I interviewed former Senator Richard Lugar, 6th-term senator, and we talked for a half hour about nuclear disarmament. And
Any relation?
There is.
What?
I'm his great nephew.
You are great.
That's a
Thanks,
really,
man.
really good interview. I have already
So,
listened to it.
yeah, listen to that. Love to hear what you think about it. It is incredibly topical. Also, you can check out the legal podcast, Ad Absurdum.
Yup.
where The pop culture legal team takes on a movie every month to discover the legal ramifications of it. And this month, it's Jurassic Park.
It's pretty good.
It's,
You heard it?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I still got like 10, 15 minutes left, but yeah.
It has the great title of What Did You Think Was Going to Happen?
Yeah, guys.
They were going to make a wonderful park and dinosaurs were going to do things, and it's great.
That makes sense for Jurassic Park. Jurassic World, though.
They were
I mean,
going to make another
what
park
did
and
they
lots of
think was gonna
dinosaurs.
So, come back next week. We're going to keep doing silly stuff.
Yo,
Until then, I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I think if things were different, that things between you and me would be different too.
I'll never know.